Okay, allow me to start with basically you still there?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, allow me to start with basically how you would describe the word music. Now, question would be, what does music mean to you? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when I mention the word music?
Obviously, music has to do with sound, but the first thing that comes to my mind is words. And when I say words, I'm talking about the message. Um, Music is more than just entertainment to me. Um, I feel like music has to do with mood and what you are trying to get from that certain point in time in life. So when I hear music, I hear encouragement, I hear maybe some little bit of preaching or some uplifting messages. Yeah, music has to do with words to me. Obviously, with sounds, yes, it has to be nice. But when you say music, I'm thinking of words. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
put it like that.
words that mean something, obviously.
Huh?
Words that mean something to you, obviously. I mean, do you write music in a form of way where you can encourage yourself?
Most of the time, because when I write music, it's more than just my feelings. I do talk about myself sometimes, but I'm actually concerned about the next person. What is he going to gain from that 5 minutes of a song that I'm going to release? So I feel like yeah, it's more than just about me. It's about the next person and what is she or he going to remember after listening to the song. So yeah, that's how I see music. Basically, a tool to talk to the next person.
Mm, mm. Right. So your real name is Pilani. I forgot your surname. What's your surname?
Yep, Pilani Kozo.
Pilani Koza. Yes. So
Yeah.
where does the name TJ Purplordy come from?
Well, I'll be honest. The name TJ wasn't supposed to be um, a stage name because before I even rap, I used to go by the name TJ. Like just like my friends would call me TJ, my family members, like relatives and stuff. And when I started doing music, it was quite interesting. When I started doing music, and I'm like, I need to find something nice. I came out with some few words, few names here and there, but didn't work out, and I ended up on Purplordy. So when I had the name Purplordy, I was just telling people, yo, my new name is Purplordy, but people was like, come on, bro, you TJ. So I had to mix it up with TJ Purplordy for people to understand. So Purplordy is actually like a mix of two words. It's like purple. Purple stands for like positivity, life, and like good vibes. And Lordy basically is just Lord with a Y. So I try to mix my messages with like positive vibes, and I also like deliver the message from the Bible because I'm not really a Christian rapper, but I am Christian and I'm a rapper. So I try to mix it up in a way that even if you're not Christian, you can still enjoy my music. I don't know if that makes sense to you. TJ Peplot is like a mixture of two different personalities because, like, in real life, as like Pilani, I'm a chilled guy, like, just like humble. Like, that's how I am. And there's like Peplot is like the other side of me, is like the artist in me. That's it's like it's a mixture. When you see me as TJ Peplot, and now it's just like two things representing one thing now, and it's kind of crazy because like when I look in the mirror, sometimes I'm like, okay, God did really make this person to. I mean, is it supposed to be like this? Sometimes it's unbelievable because sometimes I surprise myself with the things that happen, and just because people they just know me as TJ Peplot, they don't know the other side of Pilani. They don't know the other side of Peplot. They just know
Yeah.
like the mixture of the two people. So when I look myself in the mirror, I see a lot of personalities. It's not just one person because I know myself as just like a human being, but also the other side where it's still unfolding, the other side that is the artist in me. So, it's kind of like exciting, but it's life.
Sorted now. So basically, you by saying that you're totally different personalities. Um, each day you're a cool guy, calm guy. Um, do you feel like you're a different person when you're Pilani than when you're?
Yeah, it's totally two different things because when you meet me like in a shop, there's like you're just meeting TJ or just Pilani. But when you see me on stage for the first time, food, there's a different energy that side. You would think like, oh, who's this guy? Okay, it's like this. You may think that I'm arrogant. You may think that I'm just too much of myself or something like that. But when you it depends on which side that you meet first. So you get a different picture in your mind. But I'm just the same guy after all.
Yeah, good to hear. So now let's move on to your music. Tell me about how it all started.
About what?
Let's move on to your music. So tell me about how it all started.
How it all started?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's all about loving music, man. Like from listening to, it's not like necessarily rap.
Lost you again, brother.
It's like seeing people talking on TV, but in a beat, in an interesting kind of way. But also, it's not just all about the music. It's all about like the culture too, like the way like the hip hop artists dress, the way they live their lifestyle. It's more than that, but just the little things that make it like interesting a lot. So just like every detail of it like drew me closer into getting started on writing songs. And yeah, it's been a long journey because when I started writing songs, it wasn't even songs, it was just like lines that didn't make sense. But over time, it made sense. Over time, I found myself. Over time, people started paying attention. Over time, and I just like started discovering who I really am in music. So yeah, that's how it all started. And at this point, like I'm just like serious about it.
How was the feeling? Like, tell me. Like, I'm quite intrigued. How was the feeling like when you wrote your first song?
Boy, I don't even remember that. I remember going to the studio
Well,
though.
I'm sure you can like remember a
I
little
remember
bit.
going to the studio though.
Yeah.
I remember going to the studio for the first time, and yeah, it was horrible. You know, it was yeah. I
In all truthful manner, you were passionate. I mean, here you are doing music still. So I don't think it was that horrible today.
well, there was a little bit of passion, but I remember this guy telling me I should stop rapping. At first, it wasn't all about passion at that time because I had been told that I can't do anything, and I felt like at that point I just like started being serious and just trying to prove that person that yo I can do this because my next song was like really dope. Well, my verse because we were a group. It was I liked it. I liked it. It wasn't like the best, but I liked it. I felt like okay, maybe I'm getting somewhere here. So yeah, after that passion
You feel
came,
like,
and
did you feel like you proved
yeah.
that person wrong?
Oh yeah, he did come back to me. It was like, maybe you have a shot at this. Maybe I was too early to judge you. So, after that I felt a little bit better. And being a kid, you just feel like maybe I was meant for this and stuff. Crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, out of everything that you could do, you're very multi-talented. Um, so my question would be, why music?
So can you repeat that question?
Why why choose music out of everything else that you could do? I mean, you're a very multi-talented person.
Yeah, true, true. Uh, in my mind, it's like what's better than music? I mean, like music gives me joy. Like sometimes I impress myself, like when I'm just like listening to a beat and and words just start coming up, or whether I'm just like relaxing and then there's this artist which is like keep rapping or just like soothing guitar sounds. It's just like it's heaven. Like bro, I can't like just explain this, but I feel like music is the only thing that makes sense to me. Not necessarily that I want to do music only, but when I'm in like in the studio or when I'm just around people who are doing music, because I also play instruments too. I just feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Nothing else matters. I just want to keep my mind focused and just do this over and over, over and over.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. So basically, you feel like do you at some point feel like you get lost in the world of music?
I actually do. I even got to a point where I just like, I need to tell myself that, like music is not everything that matters, and the other things that matter, like family, like serving God, and just maintaining relationships, because sometimes I can just want to do music all day long and it's not healthy at all. So I try to balance it with other stuff, so that I can be like a complete human being, or just be able to relate to other people in such a way.
That's that's quite interesting. So I notice a lot of vulnerability in like most of your music, which is something we're gonna get into later.
Yeah.
But what I would really like to know is how you were able to go through the hardships you've gone through. I mean, obviously being an artist and firstly doing it just because for the sake of doing it, you've obviously faced a lot of challenges along the way.
True. Yeah, you were saying.
You were able to get through all the hardships you gone through because most of the time, I mean, in some cases, someone can just say, okay, well, you can't do this, and then someone would like find it a lot more easier to quit. So how were you able to press
Yeah.
on?
Obviously, I wasn't doing this alone. I have a team that I'm working with. But even though without a team like coming up, I always had I always had those friends, like like just keep going, bro, keep doing this. If you can fix that, you can become better. So sometimes I listen to the people who wants to see me do better, even when I know that this maybe I messed up or this sounds bad. But there's always those people around me who keeps like cheering me up and telling me that you can do better. And also, like in hardship, there's always a way out. I believe that, like, no matter what situation you are in, there's always a way out. So I try to focus on the light and just like never focus on the dark side, because that's not going to help me continue in any direction that I'm going. So when you focus on the lights, things get bright.
Oh wow! I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy focusing on the lights, but
Yeah, it
um,
wasn't easy though.
did you at some point feel like giving up?
Yep, I won't lie. There are a lot of things, especially last year. There are a lot of things that me and my manager like we planned, and I feel like about 75 of them didn't work out. Um, there are some things that we did. We expected to get some money here and there, but it just everything went out. And some things you sometimes you just like do things, and I don't know, maybe it's expectation or it's just how things work in the music industry. But sometimes we just like have high hopes when we are doing something, and it just turns out to not be working, or just sometimes it's just discouraging. And a lot of times I felt like this is not working. Even when I feel like giving up, the next day I just want to come back and do more. Yeah, it's crazy.
That, so basically, give up. Are you happy with the way everything is coming together? I'm talking about things in the background.
Well, yeah, there's a lot that I've learned lately, and one thing that I've learned for me is just to let everything unfold orderly. Don't try to push things. And I was having a conversation with this producer when I was in SA, and I was showing him some of my songs that I haven't released yet. And there's this song that he really liked. It's called Questions. And he listened to the song and he was like, "Bro, you are really nice with this, but don't release the song. I feel like your time is not there yet." I was offended at some points, when I was just like thinking that over and over. But I actually realized that, everything takes time. And my time wasn't is not my time yet. But and I just gotta keep going. I won't say that I'm relaxed, everything is going well. I won't say things are going bad, but I'm just going with the flow. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, yeah. But are you loving the way things are coming together at the moment?
Bro, I am. Like the progress in my producer has been growing, my manager has been growing in his section, and me as an artist, I feel like lyrically I'm getting better. I mean, what's more exciting than that? I mean, yeah, I am loving this pace. I won't lie.
Yeah, wow, that's quite interesting. So moving right along, so tell me about your experience of recording. Right now, you're in a studio, and
Yeah.
as soon as you walk into that door, how does it feel like?
It feels, for some reason, it doesn't feel like a chore. It also doesn't feel like I'm here to have fun. It feels like, I don't know how to put this. When you're growing up with siblings, you
Yeah,
can't say, I wish I didn't have a sibling. The sibling is just there. They're supposed to be with you. They like basically,
you're good, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. You can continue.
So yeah, I was saying that that's the feeling that I feel. It is exciting. It is exciting. I don't want to lie, because here is a space to create. It's a space to discover new things. It's a space to grow and also having fun. I always have fun with my producer here. I mean, we always have lit days all the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's very interesting. So you mentioned that it's a fun environment for you. Um,
Yeah,
so basically, you mentioning the word adventure, and it seems like each and every day is a different day from the previous. Do you feel like
yeah.
in the studio is a whole new adventure?
You were saying, do I? I didn't get that question.
Do you feel like your experience in the studio coming into the studio, I mean, every day to record these songs and all these projects that you've done, do you feel like it's a whole new, basically beautiful adventure? Each and every
Oh
day,
yeah, yeah, it is
say maybe
beautiful.
exactly.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful, bro. I mean, even when I'm feeling down, whenever I come to the studio, I feel like alive. I feel empowered. And yeah, whenever I'm in the studio, I discover new things about me. And sometimes it doesn't really go that well. Sometimes it exceeds my expectations. But this adventure is beautiful, bro. When you're doing what you love, you just want to do it over and over. So yeah, it is beautiful, dog.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Um, so you mentioning that it's a beautiful experience for you to be in the studio. Um, Tell me about, like, obviously I think I just mentioned the fact that you show some vulnerability in your music.
Yeah.
And usually, do personal experience inspire that vulnerability, or sometimes it's taken from what you've seen and you like feel like writing about it?
Yeah, so this is the thing about me. Whenever I hear a song, I write whatever comes to my mind. I rarely cancel my lines. I really cancel my lines. The only time I cancel my lines is when maybe the grammar doesn't really make sense. My producer always corrects me on that one. Or
Yeah.
or when it doesn't trying to say. So whenever you hear me saying something on a song that's kind of like personal, because sometimes I do talk about my mom's, I do talk about my friends, I do talk about me serving God. You should know that it's genuine. I really cancel my lines. It makes it more interesting and easy because I don't want to force something that's not me. I just write whatever I feel. That's why I don't really listen to a lot of other artists, or I don't have a favorite artist because I don't want to imitate what others are doing. So yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioning that. Now my question to you is your music for you or for the people? Do you feel like your music is a healing curve for yourself and for the people, or do you just feel like it's solidly for you?
Well, it's kind of like a trick question, but it's not. Sometimes I do write songs about me. I won't lie. But if you listen closely to my songs about the next person, like the song that I released, Avenues, if you listen to the whole, like the first verse and the second verse, I really talk
Yeah.
about myself. I'm talking about you. Just be positive. Just focus on the bright side. But trust the pro. Those things. Those things they just come when I
So
listen
it's
to
like
the
your
beats.
own word to yourself.
It's like what?
It's like your own words to yourself, like a note to self. Trust the process and
Yeah, it is about me, but also ever since 2020, I feel like people they need to be encouraged every now and then. So even if I'm saying it to myself, I bear in mind that this music is not only for me. People need to be somehow involved in the lyrics in one way or another. So yeah, sometimes it is about myself, but I don't want to lie. But it's also about the people. And I don't decide whether the song is for me, the song is for them. I just write. I just write.
wow, that's crazy. Um, so what are your inspirations in music? Noting that you write music for yourself, and basically, obviously, that inspiration has to be taken from personal perspectives mostly. But I think
Yeah.
some of the things that you've released, I'm talking about things that we're going to talk about later on, is all that you write about inspired by things that you've seen?
Uh, I would say yes. I would say yes. Most of the time, people inspire me. Sometimes I'll be just like watching TV and something comes to mind like, oh, yes, that was really creative, or that's really inspiring. And I wonder like, okay, maybe someone else needs to hear that. But I don't really like plan everything in my mind. I just like write notes down, and and I just leave it like that. Or whenever I face a situation and I'm able to overcome that, I just write the thing down like in my diary or something. Or maybe I'm just happy. I just write whatever comes to my mind. And whenever I listen to what beats, all the inspirations of everything that has been happening around me, they just like come together. And I started putting it in lines, and it just suddenly all makes sense. So I can say basically life itself inspires me. Yeah.
You're good, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, my dog. Like basically life itself inspires me, nothing else.
Yeah. Right. So basically, when you say personal perspectives and outside perspective inspire you, what's the feeling like after you've written about something that you've experienced? Do you feel like you have overcome that problem after writing about it?
Oh, what were you saying?
I was saying, speaking of which, you saying that obviously you sometimes write about things you've experienced and all of that, and some things you've seen. The question would be, when I'm directing this to your personal experiences, do you feel like you've overcome that situation or situations after writing it, or do you feel like you still need to deal with it? What's the feeling like?
Whenever I put something on a song, it to me is most of the time it means that I'm at peace with it. Like to make an example, sometimes I'll be talking about my moms, and I lost my moms, and someone will be saying, "Oh, sorry," but I'm cool. It's not like I'm crying or complaining or something. It's just life. I'm putting it in music. Well, I can say maybe I've overcome whenever I put something into a song, because most of the time I'm always at peace with it. It's not like something I'm trying to force it out there. I'm just talking my mind. That's all. So yeah, I can basically say that.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Well, you mentioned that you don't have any artists you look up to, and
Yeah,
but do you have anyone who inspires your sound?
as an artist or
Artists or different type of way of delivering music.
okay. Uh, Most of the time I watch poetry, like poetry videos, and most of the time I write poems. I rarely recite them though, but I write poems. And
Mm.
I feel like my rap, if you listen closer to my rap, it leans closely to spoken word, because that's the direction I'm taking as an artist. So people who do poetry inspire me a lot. And reading books, I read something every night before I go to sleep. Like it takes me about 4 days to finish a book. I read a lot. That helps me with like grammar, vocabulary, and other stuff, because this is more than just having
Yeah.
fun. You need to put in something yourself as an artist so that you can pour out to others. So those type of things that help me a lot. And also like listening to just any audible item. Maybe it's an audible book, or maybe it's just a sermon or something. I always try be in be involved in new stuff every now and then. Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's quite interesting. You're a very expressive artist, by the look. Looking to explore a lot more to your sound. I feel like you change your sounds around a bit most of the time. Sometimes you sound very hype, and you sound very down. And sometimes, it does feel like is that what
Yeah.
you really want out of what a person should think about when it comes to you?
Um, Actually, most of my songs are always positive, and I don't want. I'm scared to be like complacent or necessarily not be surprising. Like every time teacher drops, our teacher is going to talk about this. It's going to sound like this. Like our teacher does
Yeah.
something new. It's nothing new. So I try to just create an element of surprise every now and then. I think that as an artist, that's what you're supposed to do, especially when you're on your way up. You need to keep the momentum going for people to actually keep traction of what you're doing. So that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be creative with what I listen to my sound. It all sounds the same, but it's just some little tweaks here and there, just to make it more interesting. And for you as a fan, or someone who really likes my music, to like continue being engaged in what I do.
Sorry about that. That's quite really interesting from you. Um, so moving right along. Sometimes, do you feel like your mother inspires the way you write lately?
Mm, mm, a little bit of yes and a little bit of no.
That's
Maybe it's a yes. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know.
I think it's a yes. I mean, this vulnerability from you is quite very unexpected.
Yeah, I feel like
It's it's
ever,
it's
ever
beautiful
since,
as well.
yeah, true. Ever since like she passed on, I've been like, it's been easy for me to be vulnerable because that's what helped me like during the grieving parts. I have to be vulnerable to people for them to be able to help me. So after that whole situation, I feel like it was easy for me to talk about the things that are going on the inside. I can say that she opened a room that was locked. So yeah, it is a yes. It is a yes.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's quite interesting. I recently saw say that I stand to be corrected. You mentioned I think it's been like what 3 years since you've done drugs and alcohol. Oh wait, it was 4 years, right?
It's 3 years. It's 3 years full.
3 years. Okay. How was the feeling like that day? Did you do you ever feel like you miss doing it, or even when you don't, do you feel like it's something that should have happened, or do you feel like it's something that shouldn't have happened?
I feel like it's a lesson learned. The temptations are always there, each and every day. If you're a person who once smoked weed or nicotine, you would relate. Sometimes when days are hard, you actually run to weed to just like keep everything calm. But now when there's no weed, what do you do? So it's like that. And yeah, the temptations are always there, but it's all about knowing what you want, and just focusing on life, focus on what's ahead. You don't want to keep running in the same circle over and over because nothing changes. So the temptations are there, but I've made my decision. So I keep going forward.
Yeah. So, do you feel like at some point it was your escape from reality?
You're saying,
I was saying, do you feel like at some point it was your escape from reality?
as in like doing drugs?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was. It was. I don't want to lie. Everything that I did when I was in drugs, I mean, when I was still in drugs, um, everything involved drugs. It was a major breakthrough for me because after that, I discovered a lot of things about myself that I didn't know. So yeah, it was a major breakthrough for me.
Damn, that's quite really interesting. Um, moving on, or basically before we get to the project part of the interview, what would you say basically to your mother that you never had the chance to say?
That's actually deep. I feel like growing up, there's just some things that I didn't get to do, not for her, but for me as a person, because I was believing in myself and all of those things. And I feel like all of those things, I discovered them after she was gone. And I feel like she doesn't know this other side of me. And I just wish I could tell her that, like, Mom, I discovered a new thing. Like, I discovered new things about me, and you'd be impressed of what I can do as a person now. And sometimes I just wish you can see some things that I can do now that I didn't do back then. So yeah, I won't go much into detail, but I feel like that's just the direction I would go for.
Right, that's quite interesting. Um, so let's basically talk about the White Wall. What was that about?
The White Wall. Ooh, love that project. Well, the White Wall, it started off as a test. I don't want to lie. That first episode, if you look at the first episode and the rest of the other 9 episodes, it's just like different things. Because that first episode was just like an normal piano freestyle,
Yes.
just having fun. And then the second episode is when I started being vulnerable. So after I did that first episode,
Yeah.
my manager, like, he sat me down and he really liked it. And it was like, how can we be different from the others? How can we just like be impactful instead of just entertaining? So that's how it always like unfolding, and
Yeah.
it became so serious.
And
Yeah,
you killed
that's
it,
how
by
it
the way.
started actually. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, that after that first episode, we just like continue doing more and more until we reached episode 10. And after that, my manager was like, how can we level up? So after the White War, we decided that there will be season 2.
So basically, the deeper part of this two series, I feel like was the last one. It was a very active series. It seemed like you had a lot to say. Um, now,
Yeah,
are these things that you firsthand have seen happen? You've seen the victims of the of basically some of the episodes. You've rapped about rape. You've talked about gender based, all those things. Have
yeah.
you seen these things firsthand?
Actually, no. I've never interviewed or met any one of the people who were like abused or anything like that. But I've heard some sad stories, and abuse has been something that's really close to my heart because I don't understand why people get abused when we are all supposed to be equal. I felt like there was a space that was lacking, especially looking at the music here in Swaziland. People, they want to talk about themselves, people they want to talk about money, girls, and all of that. Wow, there are people who are hurting out there, and nobody like educates them about abuse and all of that. So after doing my research and seeing that place, I felt like
Brother,
I need to I need to do something. So
yeah,
that's
I'm still
how
here.
we started the White Walk. That was the mission behind everything. When you look at the Mascop series, it talks about different sides of abuse. It talks about a person who doesn't want to report abuse. It talks about a person who's been abused, but they feel. It talks about girls. It really covers all sides, almost. So that was the picture to involve everyone who's been abused or been through some type of abuse situation. So um, and it helped because even though we got to partner with Swagger, and a lot of things happen, which means a lot of people are impacted, and the information in the Mascop series is not just for entertainment use only, but it's also for just like spreading a message to the people, which is like the aim at the end of the day.
Yeah, oh, that's quite interesting. Yeah, yeah. I was asking, do you feel like, just like you said, you want to be remembered as changing the world and impacting the world in a positive? Do you feel like you've already started on basically? I mean, charity starts at home. So, do you feel like you've already impacted yourself in a positive manner?
Yeah, true. I feel like if I was to die right, there are some people who just know TJ Purplordy. And if you know that side of me, I know that you know a side that is positive, that is full of positive vibes, a side that is uplifting. So even if you may not know me that deeply, or but you will show to say like, okay, that dude was a good rapper or something. So I feel like I've already started, even though my set is kind of small right now, which is good, is a good start. And I just believe that the more I do this thing, I'm going to impact more people over time. So yeah, I believe I've already started. Now that I do believe, because I've been seeing some new people, like maybe I'm in town, which is like, I'm out the house, and they be saying, I watched this and I like what you said on this line. And sometimes it's just crazy. I just love the feedback. It's not about the praise, but it's about like, damn boy, you're actually making change. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, nah, man. Shout out to you. I mean, you're a whole lot from the bunch. I really honestly can't wait to experience more of what you have backed up in there. Um, and I'm sure also
Yeah.
everybody else can't wait what you have in store for us this year and the next coming years. So man, I just want to wish you all the best. Yeah, I'll be definitely tuning in discography once again. I was listening to
Thanks a lot, man.
the interview. It was very quite. It brings such a very calming atmosphere. And
Yeah.
really, it's very inspiring at some point.
True.
And yeah, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. It's gonna be dropped on YouTube anyway. I'm just gonna put everything to. So it's thank you for taking your time, man. Shout out. I
Thanks,
really
thanks
appreciate
for
it.
hosting me, man. I mean, it means a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks for hosting me, man. It means a lot. Like being noticed of your work, and people just want to know more about it, and you actually provide that space for artists to, like, just outpour themselves and just talk about the music. When people don't show
yeah,
interest in you, it can be discouraging. But what you are doing is really making a difference. So thanks for this time. Thanks for this message. Just wanted to talk more about this.
Easy road to get there. They say dark before you light. So everything's gonna be dope. Just focus on the lights, keep doing your thing, and let those who love your music and appreciate your music, and live knowing that your time is coming.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks a lot, my guy.
All right, I'll be waiting for more. Shout out to you and your producer, by the way. And I think one day I'm gonna pop by and see how everything goes.
Do come through, my guy.
Yeah.
You
No,
know the
say
way
less.
home.
Say less. Anyway, let me wrap this up. Yeah. Shout out.
All right, man. All right.
All right, cool. Thanks for watching this. Yeah, shout outs. Thank you for all the love. Yeah, anyway, there's more content on the way. This is only just the start. This is the official reopening of the interview, so do stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching till the end. This has been the Interview Africa. Boom.